Good afternoon, everybody. Today I'm going to be trying to make some beach-themed coasters. This will be the first time using these deep rim coasters in the square. I have used them in the octagon shape, so this is my first time using these. I have a video on this. This is my first time I've done blooms. They turned out pretty good. They could use some work. But if you look, they're deep rimmed, so when you put your drink in here, or your glass, the water will stay inside and not under your coffee table. I've already poured A and B of the craft resin, my favorite resin so far, because it is very clear when it cures. And what I'm trying to do is just put a thin layer in these after I mix it. My mixer broke over the weekend. I had one of the plastic mixers, the hand mixers, battery operated, and it's got stuck in there. And I called everywhere. Nobody had them in stock. Walmart, Hobby Lobby, Michael's. So I didn't get a whole lot done this weekend. But then I came across this one right here that fits in a drill. Hope it's secure. So I'm going to have to use this. It is a little bit tall, so I'm going to do this off camera. I just don't like mixing by hand. I should have another one coming that I'll be doing an unboxing on and testing out. The Let's Resin mixer that you don't have to hold on to, so I'm excited about that. So what I'm trying to do is make this equally and just put a thin layer, because this is my idea. So I made these little turtles. They're just adorable. And I had added some of these in a flower pot and they turned out amazing. This is my flower pot I put them in. And I have videos on not this one particular, but other flower pots I've used. You put the little tube in the back and it holds the flowers. Some put the tubes in the front, but I think it looks better in the back. You can do what you want with it. Here's another one I did. I believe I did a video on this one. So that's with bumblebees and sunflowers. Anyways, what we're going to do is I'm going to mix this for 3 minutes. And I got my little timer going on here. And then I will get back to you. Alright, I had already mixed, and I thought I did a video of me stopping the mixing and telling you about how hard it was to mix. I'm not sure, but I do believe I messed that part up by pausing the video. I paused it when I mixed, and I thought I turned it back on to let you know it was done, but I don't think I did that correctly, so I'm just going to let you know again, just in case. This was very hard. I mixed it too fast, and there was a lot of bubbles, and so this is so long. I've already cleaned it up. That's more for if you're going to do epoxy table, so will keep this. Use it for if I do a big pour. So this is it after it's been in the bubble machine. There's still a few bubbles, but really not that bad. What I'm trying to do here is make equal amounts in here. I'm going to put these turtles in there after I pour a little bit of resin so that it will lay flat. It's going to have to really, really touch the back. These are a little bit thick. I'm looking at it. Looks like I can put them in there without them touching the back, but we're gonna find out. If not, I'll have to do some sanding, which I really don't want to do. So what I'm gonna do first is pour these into these 2 little cups and put equal amounts. See what I can do here. I'm just trying to make a very thin layer. I made these turtles with these cute little molds I got off Amazon. They came with a 6-pack. And I made them earlier just so they would be done for this project. And like I said, I'm making a very thin layer. Looks like I need a little bit in the sides here. And looks like I got a little bit left, so I'm just going to use this cup. Might have to make something else with this. It looks like I made too much. So I was going to use this Stream alcohol ink. It's kind of like a greenish color, kind of like the ocean. And then I have like this pigment paste is blue by Opaque. I'm going to use a little bit of that, make it a little bit clear for like the sky. So my intention is to make this like have sand in it. So I've got some teal sand. I love this sand. So I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to do this. I think first I'm going to put these down. So let me grab something so I don't have to put my hands all in there. These do look a little bit thick. I don't think that's going to work, honestly. It looks like it's... I could always sand the bottom. We're going to try it anyways. We just might have to sand the bottom. So I'm going to put them in the corners. These are such detail. They're just adorable. I'm thinking about making a necklace with it. Not sure if the turtle would be upside down like this with a necklace or up like this. So now I'm going to add a little bit of pigment paste of the blue for the sky. Just a little bit. All right. And then I'm going to swirl it around. You know what I think I'm going to do? I'm going to put some seashells in there too. So let's do a little bit of sand. I got these little spoons with some jelly, some jars I bought to make jelly. And I never really used them for the jelly. And they're just the cutest little spoons. They work good for stuff like this. And in the middle, I'm going to put this alcohol ink right here. It's called Stream. So I have a little bit left in here, just a couple drops. Look how pretty that is. And you can see it's hardly any bubbles in here, but it is okay if there is, because it is going to be an ocean theme. You know, the ocean does have some bubbles in it. So just a little bit, because I don't want it to get too full, because I don't want my turtle floating up. And I probably should have done this last, but I'm still going to put a top coat on it, because it's about a quarter, well, maybe about a half full right now. And then I'm going to swirl these together. I might do a little bit of white. If I can find some white alcohol inks. But first, let's go ahead and put my little seashells. And everything I'm using, most of it is from Amazon. And so whatever I've gotten off of Amazon, I'll put links in the description. I think I'm going to put these a little bit higher so you can actually see them, so they're not covered by the sand. These are actually Cricut weeding tool. I kind of like them. Okay, now it's got different versions of seashells. What they are, I can tell you. I do have, and then remember, you got to put it face down, so like this right here. And a little starfish. This comes with a little starfish. I'm about on my starfish. I like my starfish. It ain't come with many starfish. I don't know why. Maybe because they're hard to find. One day I'm gonna go to the ocean and get my own and have to stop buying them. That would be nice. All right, so we've got one starfish in each one. Okay, now push it down. Let me try something here. Push everything down with this little stick here. Remember, when you flip this over, this is going to be the back. Blend these together. I need to mix the sand up a little bit more. sky, the water. Now let's do a little bit of white. Make a little wave effect. Let's see if I can find my white. You know what? I think I'm just going to do this. Since I'm about out of resin. Cool, look at that. Starting to look like something. And I think, so these aren't so translucent, I may add white to the whole entire back once we get through with this. Look at that, it almost looks like a little ocean. Then when we return, we will add a back layer. Starting to look pretty. Get these corners here. Look at that. I kind of like this color. All right. I'm going to let this sit. I feel like it needs a little bit more right here. Starting to be too translucent. So I think I'm going to add white to the back. That would kind of be a cool color. And all the rest of it will show a lot better. All right, I think my turtles, I'm gonna have to keep watching them, keep holding them down. Because I think they are going to be, what I should have done honestly is sand them first and kind of measure it, gauge it to see if they were even gonna fit in here. I thought they were, but it appears to me that they're going to stick up a little bit. So I'll just keep an eye on it. I don't even think I need a heat tool, but I'm going to use one anyways. It's move everything around. I do use alcohol once in a while. It doesn't really need a whole lot, so I'm going to just spray one little spray because the bubbles are pretty much non-existent. That's all I'm going to do. And with this craft resin, it actually works pretty well without even having to use alcohol or anything else. All right, we're going to let this sit and I will get back to you. Hello, we are back and it's been about 3 hours. I did put it in the curing machine for about 30 minutes, so it's pretty tacky. This isn't even moving. And while I was looking at this, I know I'm going to have to end up, unfortunately, sanding because the turtle is going to be sticking out too far. But I did think of something. Those little molds I have, if I were to do this again, which I really want to do because I think it'd be just beautiful if it does turn out, is to maybe just pour half of the mold with the green for the turtle instead of filling it all the way, because they are pretty deep. They're about that deep. So I think that's what I'm gonna do next time, and just make thinner turtles, because you're just gonna see the front of it anyways. So let's get started. I have already mixed my resin, and I've already put some white pigment paste in here, just a little bit on a stick. So I'm filling all this with white in the back. I am just going to use these gloves because I'm not doing a whole lot right now. I use these when I'm not really doing a whole lot with the resin or anything like that. So I'm going to fill this cup all the way to the top. I'm going to save some because I'm using this for another project in my next video. So I'm going to just set this aside. I don't need much of it. This should be plenty. So this is an 8-ounce cup. I'm just filling the back. And with the pigment paste, you don't need that much, but you do need to make sure you stir it very well. I had done a clock and used pigment paste, and I didn't mix it well. And so when I poured the second half of the cup, it was way darker than it was in the beginning. Although it did turn out well. I had some beautiful comments on my clock. It was a wall clock that is basically on my mantle right now, because I haven't quite figured out how to what to put on the back to make it an actual wall clock. But it's on my mantle, just sitting there, and it's keeping perfect time, which I was surprised. But it turned out pretty good. That's in another video I have. So I'm not going to make this too white, just because I don't want it to cover the blue, because this is a thin layer of blue. I just want enough to be able to not be able to see through it, because the last coasters I made, you could kind of see through them. So it's a very milky color. All right, so we are going to pour in the middle, a little bit at a time. Oh, just so I can get in the corners. This is going to be plenty. I was a little bit concerned I wasn't going to have enough. Oh, just let it sit before it overflows. But you can see the turtles are sticking out, which is kind of a bummer. So that's what I'm going to do next time. So I'm going to have to sand these babies off. That is not going to be fun. But I'll probably end up using my Let's Resin sander that I just bought. It has really big pads and small pads, 2-inch and 3-inch. So that's full, that's full. This is about full. Let's cover the turtle a little bit more. Yep, definitely going to have to sand. I hope it turns out. I'm going to fill them as high as I can get them without them overflowing. And remember, resin shrinks. I learned that from somebody the other day, and I've never really thought about it. But as it cures, it ends up shrinking, because a lot of people are asking our Resin for Beginners page that I'm on, why somebody's getting sharp corners, and somebody said resin shrinks, and try to fill it up as much as you can. I'm always having to use like a deburring tool or something like that. This one's kind of getting too full right here. Gonna cover the turtle up. I'm not sure. I need to mix this up. See, I didn't get the bottom mixed up well. Yes. So this is going to have to cure a lot, probably at least 4 days before I can even start sanding it. Maybe even a little bit longer. So I am done with this. We will go ahead and demold probably, I think on this I'm going to wait at least a full 24 hours So it's about 1 o'clock today, so about 1 o'clock tomorrow, I can probably demold this because I want to make sure it's not too soft when I demold it. Hopefully you can still see the blue sky, since I did let it, the first part, get enough tackiness to where the white should not seep through. So if you're doing layers, make sure you give it enough time to allow the resin to so get a little bit tackiness, so it doesn't end up mixing through the front. Yep, definitely doesn't look like I have to do too much sanding. Maybe on this little guy, his arm's sticking up in that one, but these two are a little bit flatter. So anyways, we will demold in a day or two. And thank you for watching, and I hope you have a blessed day. Hello everybody, we are back for the demolding of the deep resin coasters. And as you can tell, I was correct. These little turtles are sticking up. So that means I'm gonna have to do some serious sanding, but that's okay because I do have some cork stickers for the back that fit absolutely amazing. So I will show you that in just a minute. So let's go ahead and demold this. I'm so excited. I just hope it turned out. Oh, precious. Look at, he's like buried in the sand. Oh my goodness, look at that. That is so cool. I like the white effect on the back. It made it pop up a little bit. It was a little bit too see-through, I think it was going to be. So he does stick up. This one does too. It's okay. That's what sanding's for. Look at that. You can see the sand. And he's kind of buried a little bit under there. I wish he would be on top of it. Let's see how these turned out. Oh, this one is adorable. This one turned out way better. Look at that. The sky, the green. Oh my goodness. That looks like waves. It's beautiful. I think I'm onto something. See, they don't lay flat. So definitely going to have to sand, which is okay. I've got a new sander. Oh my gosh, I don't know which one's better of these two. Oh my gosh, that is gorgeous. That looks like clouds. Look at the shells and the turtle. Awesome. So I'm going to show you the little corks I have. So these are thin layers of cork. I believe I got these. I believe I cut these myself. Yes. So see how that's a different size? I believe I got these at the Dollar Tree store. I think you can get them on Amazon as well, but I think that's where I got them. Anyways, I was using these for my wood coasters I used to make. So they're very thin, but just enough so it doesn't scratch your surface. So I'm not going to take it off right now, but it will fit up under there like that. And let me check something out. It shouldn't show through because this one's completely covered with the back of the white, so it should not show through the back. But if you're using clear, it will show through the back and you'll see the brown. So just keep that in mind if you use that. Or there's other things you could put, just round ones on the bottom. I've got that on some other coasters just to keep the tables from getting scratched. You don't want to sell something that scratches somebody's table. This is very sharp right now. Anyways, they turned out very adorable. Everything's fine in here. There's nothing sticking up in here, which is great. I just mentioned this in the last video I did a few seconds ago before it was on another demolding on a clock, where I'm going to start doing the videos only about once a week because I just can't keep up with everything I'm trying to do for the Dogwood Festival. I really want to get all my resin stuff out. I think it'll be a really good seller this year for me because I haven't done a whole lot of resin stuff until just recently. So, thank you for watching, and please subscribe, like, and share. I really need to get monetized. I'm up to 82 subscribers. And if you want, you can buy me coffee to help me with some of this, so cost of my supplies and my time, if you enjoy the content. So again, thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share. And I hope you enjoy this content. And if there's anything you want me to see me make, let me know, or anything you think I could do better. I know I speak a lot, so don't even have to tell me that. I'm trying to work on that. So I'm trying to slow down and get my head together when I talk, because I do talk a little bit fast, especially when I've drank a Diet Coke, which I haven't had any today, and I'm still talking fast. Like I said, thank you for watching, and I hope you have a blessed day. And don't forget to come see me if you're in North Carolina at the Farmville Dogwood Festival. It's April 24th through the 26th is where the vendors will be under their own tents or under the craft tent. I'm under the big craft tent, and I will have 2 booths, so I do pay a lot for those. So my prices will be probably a little bit higher than I would normally have them, like if in my shop, but they're not going to be much more higher. I try to still keep my prices low enough to people can, you know, afford them, to where I'm not losing a lot of money as well. So thank you for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day.